Hello, everyone, and welcome to our fifth Property Finder webinar, where we share our data to help you navigate through the COVID-19 situation. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ari Keshishoğlu, and I'm the president of the Property Finder Group. This is our fifth webinar, and we have more and more attendees every week, which is great. We will continue to share the UAE real estate market and also help your businesses. Like the previous weeks, welcome to my home. As for guidance, we're still all working from home. And if it's your first time here, let me start with the why of we're doing this. The coronavirus situation obviously is affecting the economy and all businesses, and we're all in this together. We as Property Finder want to be your best partners during this time and also in the future. Now, this is important for us because as a company, we do well only if your business does well. And lack of visibility and not being able to see what's going on is a big problem in any crisis. And we have a lot of data and great data scientists who are working very hard to identify insights that can help you run your business. We will continue to share our data and insights with you today. Now, I also mentioned in the last weeks that this webinar is about helping you transact more and not about Property Finder's commercial offers. I'm going to turn off my camera in case my connection is slow. I compared this webinar to a football game where commercial offers would be similar to defense in football, while this webinar is entirely focused on offense to help you score goals, so to help you generate more business. And without scoring goals, it's impossible to win a football game. It's also similar in business. We want to be your best partner in generating business. Every week, we ask you for your feedback, and we're taking your feedback into consideration. So our structure will be slightly different this week compared to last week. First, last week, Hiba from the DLD provided a lot of clarity on how to operate your business under the current situation. And you had even more questions, so she's back. She'll be with us this week as well. You also told us that you want to continue to hear from external experts. So we have more for you this week. I'll share that in shortly. And then we'll continue to share our unique data. So a quick update on the COVID-19 information, updates on the impact that we see on the UAE real estate market, and also share some search trends that you can turn into actions. Then today we have a surprise for you, and we will introduce a great new product. We're launching this product shortly to significantly help you run your operations under the COVID-19 restrictions, and obviously beyond that. Then we will get great insights on the mortgage situation from Stephen from Mashreq Bank and our own Warren from Mortgage Finder. And at the end, there will be possibility to post questions. You can post your questions in the app that is in front of you, and some of them will be answered directly in the chat, and others during the Q&A at the end of the presentation. And as always, right after the webinar, we'll send you an email to get your feedback. Now, with that, let me dive into our content. Next slide, please. Okay, so together with me, like the previous weeks, I have Lynette Abad, Director of Research and Data for Property Finder. And I also have Stuart Shapley, Director of New Homes. Stuart is also running our coronavirus response approach at the moment. We also have team members behind the scenes, so we have a smooth experience today. Next slide, please. And as suggested, we have 3 guests this week. Hiba, that's our second week, who's a senior advisor and trainer at the Dubai Real Estate Institute. Stephen, Director of Investment Banking and Real Estate Advisory at Mashreq Bank. And Warren, who is a director at Mortgage Finder. We're obviously very excited to have them with us this week. You told us that you want to hear more from external experts, and here we are. We have even more experts this week. Next slide, please. Every week we ask you if you're happy with the content of the webinar. This is what you told us last week. On the left side, you see how you graded us. 97% of you said that you want to hear more insights from external experts. So here we are with more external experts. 95 of you thought the webinar met or exceeded their expectations. And 84 of you think that Property Finder is trying to be your best partner in this situation. So we worked hard to earn your trust, and we will continue to work very hard. Now, on the right side, we asked you again your view on the time to recovery, and we are asking that every week, so we know how things are shifting, how your assessment is shifting every week. Now, 70% of you think that the recovery will happen in less than 6 months. And last week, so 2 weeks ago, 80% of you believe that the recovery time will be less than 6 months. So there is some slight decrease on how you assess the situation. And as I said before, the most difficult part in this is the uncertainty, which is also reflected in these surveys. And this is true for all of us. This is why we try every week to bring you the best data on the real estate market so that you can make the best decisions for your business. Let's first start with the COVID-19 situation. Next slide. So the number of cases continue to increase exponentially, as you're hearing and reading in the press, globally and in the UAE since we last spoke. There are now more than 2 million cases globally, and in the UAE, we have almost reached 7,000 cases. But the cases per 1 million people, which is a good comparison, which helps us compare, where different countries are, it stays low compared to other countries in the UAE. And as a result, the UAE government may continue to make difficult decisions. So let me repeat this. I personally think the UAE government is doing an excellent job at managing the situation. And the data around the world shows that the more decisive the actions are, the faster the start of the recovery. Now, let's look at the next slide, please. Okay, now let's look at the real estate data. Now, we have the best data on the UAE real estate market, and we are going to share that with you like we did in the past weeks. And we will also provide an update on the data that you saw last week. And as I always repeat, it's impossible for us to forecast the future. What we can do is we can give you a consistent and objective view of how things are developing, so that you can make your own decisions for your own businesses. And then, we'll show some new data that you requested in your questions, and what kind of actions it suggests, because we want to help you manage your business well during this time, as well as in the future. I will hand it over to Lynette now. Lynette?
Thank you, Ari. Now, let's look at the data. Every week, we show you a critical piece of information, the number of listings and number of listing views or impressions. So here's the update. The number of listings continue to decline. We had a 16% decline for sales in the last 4 weeks and a 10% decline for rentals. However, the number of views increased in the last 4 weeks. We had an increase of 12% for sales and 22% for rentals. So what does this mean? Most likely, people are now settled at home and are looking for their next move, whether it's a rental or to purchase a property. Also, most people will likely not travel this summer and opt for staycations instead. Therefore, be ready when this lockdown is over. Next slide, please. Now, let's look at the sales leads in Dubai. The charts on the slide are the weekly comparison of sales leads year on year, updated with the last week's trend. If it is above the line, it means there were more leads that week compared to the same week last year. So I'll repeat myself again. If it is above the line, it means there were more leads that week compared to the same week last year. You can see that sales leads continue to be impacted since the lockdown in the UAE. On the left, an overview of Dubai. On the right, a deep dive into apartment and villa townhouse. So we wanted to break down the data to the most basic parts possible, because we're seeing different trends between apartments and villa townhouses, which we spoke about in the last few webinars and we will speak about again today. So sales leads continue to decline in Dubai. Apartments were more impacted, and as you can see, villa townhouse declined much less compared to apartments. So what we are seeing is a shift from people looking at apartments going to villa townhouses. We have seen over the past few weeks the trends increase significantly for people who are looking for garden space, for pools, for villas, and this trend has continued as of last week as well. Next slide, please. Now, let's look at the sales leads in Abu Dhabi. Sales leads for apartments are the most impacted. We had a 19% decline this week against the same week last year. However, sales leads for villas and townhouse are consistently above 2019 levels each week since the beginning of 2020. This past week, they were up by 30%. So I'll repeat that. Villa and townhouse sales leads were up by 30% in Abu Dhabi compared to last week. Next slide, please. In the Northern Emirates, the trend observed in the previous weeks continue. Sales leads are higher than last year. This is true for apartments. We had a 29% increase last week against the same week last year. And for villa townhouse, we had a 44% increase last week against the same week last year. So this is something, it's a trend that we're seeing. Obviously, Dubai is the only emirate that's on full lockdown. The other emirates are not. And people are thinking, and I've had several conversations with consumers, with colleagues, people are thinking, well, if we're in lockdown for another month, I'm going to look for short-term rental in, for example, Rak, next to a beach, and just enjoy the outside, being able to go outside. If you have pets, being able to take them for a walk. If you have kids, go outside and play. And people are seriously considering this option, which is a trend that I will share with you later on the number of short-term searches. Next slide, please. So rental has a similar trend with leads decreasing since the lockdown in Dubai and to a lesser extent in Abu Dhabi, where we are moving back towards 2019 levels, though still below 16% last week. However, the rental leads in the Northern Emirates continue to increase significantly against last year, up by 29% this past week compared to last year. Next slide, please. Now, let's look at sales transactions. So as Hiba mentioned, transactions are happening. I've had quite a few conversations with actually many of you on this webinar. Some of you are saying that you're not able to transact, but some of you have had successful transactions. This is something that Warren will also talk about later on in the Q&A about mortgage being transferred as well. So let's look at sales transactions. In this slide, let me just repeat one message. Transactions that we see now likely started before the COVID-19 crisis. So an average sale cycle is 45 days from beginning to end. So the biggest impact that we will see with sales transactions could be around mid to end May. Having said that, sales transactions are closer to last year level. Last week, they were 9% below the same week last year. Looking at the last 4 weeks, 30% less transactions than the same period last year. Looking at year-to-date data, meaning all sales transactions since the 1st of January 2020 to date, transactions are up 8% compared to 2019. So I'll repeat that again. Looking at year-to-date data, meaning all sales transactions since the 1st of January 2020 to date, transactions are up 8% compared to 2019, if we're comparing the same time frame. This week, up until yesterday, we had 237 sales transactions in total, with 182 in the off-plan segment and 55 in the secondary segment. Next slide, please. So let me summarize what I just said. Despite the number of listings decreasing, listing views are up 20% in the last 4 weeks for both rental and sales. In Dubai, sales leads continue to be impacted in Dubai, however, less for the villa townhouse segment. Rental leads continue to decline against last year as well. In Abu Dhabi and the other in Northern Emirates, where we don't have the full lockdown, sales leads continue to grow versus last year, driven by the villa townhouse segment, up 30% more leads in the last 4 weeks versus the previous year. Rental leads are impacted less than they are in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi. In the Northern Emirates, sales and rental leads continue to grow versus last year for both apartment and villa townhouse. Sales transactions increased against the previous week, but are still below 2019 level for the same week. Next slide, please. At Property Finder, we want to provide you with the most relevant data that helps you take the right actions for your business. This is why this week we want to share new pieces of information on search trends that will help you take immediate actions. Next slide, please. So remember last week we showed you how the search for short-term, defined by daily, weekly, or monthly rental, has been increasing since March as a potential reaction to the lack of visibility we all have on our financial situation. Also, as I mentioned earlier, having conversations with consumers and colleagues, people are thinking, if we're going to be on lockdown for another month, let's go to another Emirates where we can enjoy the outside space. This week, we show you the lease for short-term rental in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. This confirmed the trend we showed last week. They significantly increased, especially in Dubai. So the action that we suggest is boost your short-term listings. Next slide, please. Another trend that we mentioned 2 weeks ago was people looking for pools in outdoor spaces. We looked at it again and the trend is confirmed. The blue line is the percent of searches for pool, so that's the one at the top, and the green line is the percent of searches for garden. Action that we suggest, boost your listings with the garden and or pool. Highlight it in the pictures and in the title. Also, all of you should have access to Data Finder. In Data Finder, we added search keywords in the market demand module. Look at how people are searching for the type of keywords that they're typing and include those specific keywords in the description of your listings so that they can get shown more on the website. Next slide, please. Let's recap the user's insights. So the insights from this week, there was a significant increase in short-term leads, especially in Dubai, and the percentages of searches for pool and garden continue to increase. From last week, the trends was customers are increasingly searching for houses, villa and townhouses combined. Virtual tours can support you generating leads. In rentals, the high price category is least affected. In rentals, payment terms are significantly more important now. So please speak to your landlords and get them to go to 12 checks. Answering rates are very similar to before the situation. Increasing that will bring you more business. So please answer your phones. We're all here at home. I can't imagine that there's anything else that you can do other than just generate more business. The percentage of short-term rental searches is increasing, and the percentage of warehouse and commercial searches is increasing as well. Next slide, please. So the world has fundamentally changed, and we're changing with it. Every week, we are doing this to help you by sharing insights from the unique data that we have. This is what we do at Property Finder. As a tech startup, the other way to best support you is to develop amazing products that will help you run your business more efficiently and adapt to the new way of working, especially now more than ever, because the world has fundamentally changed very fast. Being a tech startup, one of our strengths is to be able to adapt fast as well. We are an extremely agile team. So today we want to show you a new groundbreaking product that we are launching, which will be free and will help you close deals. Next slide, please. I am so proud to present to you live viewings. And I would like to send a huge shout out to the website and mobile teams for getting this done. You guys rock. Next slide, please. So live viewings allows you to schedule and broadcast live viewings for any property in the UAE in real time. Potential clients can stream, join your live viewing from the Property Finder website directly from your listing. Clients can ask questions in real time. You can answer as you are touring the property, and they can submit their details to you. All you need is Lead Tracker. So if you don't have Lead Tracker, download it today and log in with your manager account details. You also need to be a verified agent on Property Finder. So if you are not a verified agent, please make sure to get this done, as you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. And I repeat, it's free. We have been working very hard during these times to create the best products and technology to assist you in every possible way. Because the technology is heavyweight, we will slowly roll it out to everyone. Therefore, you will need to register for the product, and after it's activated, we will contact you for training. We will have a full product webinar on Thursday at 11 a.m. Invites will be sent out this afternoon with further information, and details will also be published on Property Finder's Hub. If you are not familiar with Hub, it is a content center for real estate agents who want to make the most out of their presence on Property Finder and grow their brand while maximizing exposure to their listings. You can find this on propertyfinder.ae/hub. Now, let's show you what it looks like with a short video demo. Play video, please.
The future has come early. Get your property seen by local and international clients. Conduct viewings while your clients stay at home. Property Finder Live Viewings. Step 1. Download Lead Tracker from the App Store or Play Store. Step 2. Select properties and choose the listing you want to schedule a live viewing for. Set the date and time for your live viewing. Your viewing is now scheduled. Step 3. To remind yourself, add the viewing to your calendar. Once you have scheduled the viewing, home seekers will find this on your listing. They will be able to add a reminder in their calendar for your live viewing. Step 4. When you are at the property, to start the viewing, select Go Live. You will now be broadcasting the property live to all the potential clients. And this is what your clients will see. They will ask questions via the comments. Be ready to answer them. Potential clients can register their interest after the viewing. This will come through to you as an email lead. Go live with Property Finder Live Viewings. Available now on Lead Tracker app and propertyfinder.ae.
Okay. Thank you, Lynette. We are very excited by this product launch and worked very hard to make it available to you at such a short time. And I want to repeat something. So you can do live viewings for both local audiences as well as international audiences. So anyone who can access the internet and who can access the Property Finder website will be able to join your live viewings, and will be able to ask you questions wherever they are in the world. And so that's why we're like very, very excited about this. And hope you're as excited as we are, and you will use it to generate even more leads for your business. Okay, and then we're coming to the end. So thank you so much for being with us today. We have the best data in the UAE real estate market, and much more than the information that we shared today is available through Data Finder. And as you know, we gave free access to Data Finder. So please ask your account manager if you haven't activated this access. And as I always say, we want to be your best partner during this time and also in the future. We only do well if your business does well. That's why we're working so hard to give you the insights, to launch new products that will help you generate more business. And we will ask you for your feedback by email in a couple of minutes. This is so that we can make this webinar and also our support to you even better next week. So please answer our survey, and we promise we'll try even harder to be your best partner. With that, I want to repeat that we're super excited with our live product. So stay safe, go live, and have a great rest of the week. Thank you.